Welcome to Zoology at QUB, and thank you for your interest in the degree programme. My name is Nikki Marks, and I am the Zoology Programme Director. The object of the talk today is to introduce you to the breadth of opportunities that can emanate from the study of the biology of animals, i.e. zoology. Zoology encompasses a diverse range of topics and methodologies, equipping you with an excellent transferable skill set sought after by employers. The pictures on the first slide illustrate the range of species covered during the degree from the microscopic parasitic filarial nematodes, also known as roundworms, to the large charismatic animals represented here by elephants, and of course everything in between. The filarial nematode shown in the upper right-hand panel of the pictures is carried by mosquitoes, and once the female mosquito feeds, she injects the larva into the host bloodstream, whether human or animal. The larvae make their way to the lymphatic system where they mature and reproduce. Unfortunately, their presence causes disruption of the lymphatic system, leading to swelling and disfigurement. Legs and arms are the most commonly affected areas of the body, and in extreme cases such as the one illustrated, reconstructive surgery is often the only treatment. Elephantiasis, a disease caused by this filarial nematode, is the second leading cause of disability worldwide after head trauma. Therefore, it's not surprising to learn that this disease is targeted for eradication by the World Health Organization. At the other end of the spectrum, we have large terrestrial animals, such as elephants, carnivore species such as lions, tigers, and wolves, and of course, many iconic marine species such as the blue whale and whale shark. Irrespective of whether an animal occupies a terrestrial, marine, or freshwater habitat, an ever-increasing human population, followed by encroachment into animal habitats, and the exploitation and poaching of animal species threatens their future sustainability. We are actually at the point in history that if we do not address the issues such as climate change, animal trafficking, and poaching, habitat loss, and the emergence of infectious disease, we may witness the loss of the majority of these iconic species. The structure of the zoology degree itself. At stage 1, you will complete 3 40-cap modules, namely Molecular Basis of Life, World of Microorganisms, Biodiversity. These are 40-cap modules that run throughout the academic year, beginning in the autumn semester and are completed in the spring semester. These modules are also taken by students enrolled on biological sciences, marine biology, microbiology, and the zoology pathways, allowing you the flexibility to move between the programs if you should change your mind. The term CAT refers to Credit Accumulation and Transfer Scheme. So 1 CAT point is equal to 10 hours. This CAT point scheme allows you to transfer not only between degree pathways, but also universities. To summarize stage 1, your first year of study is designed to provide an introduction to the basic aspects of biochemistry and molecular biology, with particular reference to the molecular basis of cancer and genetics, including microbial and medical genetics. You will also examine evolution and the biodiversity of the living world from plants to animals. In addition, you will receive training in essential scientific methods and techniques, including laboratory and field research, and the use of statistics on the biodiversity field course. As you move to stage 2, you have a greater diversity of module choice, allowing you to play to both your interests and your strengths. Each degree program has core modules associated with it. These core modules are compulsory, and in the case of zoology, there are 2 at stage 2, namely animal biology and physiology, a 40-cap module running across the 2 semesters. Key aspects covered in this module include evolution, embryology, development, locomotion, and adaptations of animals, including those involving the sensory system, thermoregulation, and environmental physiology. It also encompasses a well-structured practical element which emphasizes the development of hands-on practical work which provides students with transferable skills for their future careers. The second compulsory module is invertebrate biology, a 20-cat module delivered in the spring semester. Now for each semester, both autumn and spring, you will complete 60 cat points worth of modules. So for example, in the autumn semester, you will complete the 20 cats of the 40 cat animal biology and physiology and choose 40 cats from the remaining list of modules. For example, you may choose applied ecology and forensics and toxicology to make up your 60 cats. Applied ecology outlines how ecological understanding is applied in practice, i.e. climate change, conservation, pollination, pest control, pollution, and the management of biological populations. The integral field course provides experience in the design and analysis of experiments and surveys with practical field skills and also written and oral communication. Forensics and toxicology module introduces the major concepts of forensic science from fingerprinting to biometrics, which includes things such as retinal scanning. You will also cover the use of forensic entomology to establish time of death. You will look at food fraud, the detection of poisons, including animal-derived toxins, and of course, the use of new methodologies to detect and prosecute perpetrators of wildlife crime or trafficking. In the spring semester, you will complete the second 20 cats of the animal biology and physiology module and also take the 20 cats of the compulsory invertebrate biology module, which provides an introduction to the diversity, relationships, adaptive behaviours, and biology of selective invertebrate phyla, which also will include the beneficial and detrimental impacts of invertebrates on human and animal welfare. To complete your 60 cats for this spring semester, you can choose from coastal and oceanic biology, applied genetics, microbes in action, or work placement. Now, as we move to stage 3, all stage 3 students enrolled on the degree programmes in the School of Biological Sciences will complete the compulsory 40 cat honours project, which runs throughout the academic year. Zoology students will also complete the compulsory 20 cat module of parasitology in the autumn semester, which examines the transmission pathways of parasites in man and animals, and also those species that are zoonotic, i.e. can pass between man and animals and vice versa. It also examines the developing problem of antibiotic resistance and the need for new control practices. This is something that is very important as the human population continues to expand, and we also see an increase in agricultural intensification. Both factors facilitate parasite transfer. For your last 20 cats, you can choose between medical microbiology, farm and animal health and welfare, global change biology, future oceans, immunology, and immunotherapy. So a very good choice of modules. In the spring semester, you will complete the 20 cats of your honours research project and choose another 40 cats from animal behaviour, conservation biology, and the highly topical zoonoses, considering the recent COVID-19 pandemic outbreak that we're actually currently living through, and an example of a zoonotic disease. Now, along with the research placement, the research project is often the part of the degree programme that students report as having enjoyed the most. Students who choose to take the zoology degree programme have a wide range of interests from ecology to animal biology, animal behaviour, marine biology, through to the molecular and biochemical aspects of disease or the hereditary nature of disease or traits. Others have an interest in veterinary medicine. The Stage 3 projects are offered by research active staff within the school and offer you the chance to complete a project which is either laboratory-based or field-based. It may also be a dry project, i.e. bioinformatics, or a wet project, for example, carrying out behavioural studies or dissections. The projects are designed to equip you with a set of transferable skills to enhance your employability. There are 4 degree options available for zoology. The 3-year BSc Honours, the structure which we have just covered. You can also choose, for example, from BSc Honours in Zoology with Professional Studies. This is a 4-year course during which you can undertake a year-long placement. This comprises 40 weeks worth 120 cats. Alternatively, you may choose the MSci pathway, again a 4-year course, during which you will complete a 120 cat research project at Stage 4. You also have the opportunity of taking the MSci with Professional Studies, which is a 5-year course, during which you will complete the 120 cat work placement, and you will also complete the 120 cat project at Stage 4. The figures in the table illustrate the contribution of each year to your final degree mark. The BSc programs have been awarded RSB accreditation, while the MSci programs have been awarded advanced accreditation. RSB accreditation provides recognition of the academic quality of your degree course, and it also enhances your employability and provides you with membership of a professional association. One point to note is that it's also possible to transfer between courses. For example, you can transfer from the BSc to the Professional Studies program. This is normally done after Stage 1. Students can also transfer from the BSc program to the MSci program to complete the Stage 4 research project if you meet the requirements. The Zoology program performs consistently well in the NSS, and this year 92% of the BSc students were satisfied overall with their course, while 100% of the MSci students were satisfied overall with their course. 100% of the students, both pathways, felt that the staff were good at explaining things. Now, there are numerous work placements available, both local and international. I will cover a few of the most popular international ones today. The first, Harnas Wildlife Foundation, is an organisation located in Namibia and is one of the few wildlife orphanages and medical centres in the world to take in abused, injured and captured wild animals from Namibia, Botswana, Southern African nations, and in doing so they save hundreds of animals each year. A selection of some of the animals rescued are shown on the slide, everything from mongoose through to caracals, orphan baboons, up to predators such as leopards and cheetahs. Its mission is to protect life, and this is done through the responsible and effective management, regulation and understanding of the resources necessary for the task. If you undertake this placement, you will get the chance to take care of injured animals, carry out animal husbandry, i.e. cleaning out cages, feeding, taking part in population surveys and relocating animals. For those of you interested in postgraduate veterinary degrees, you have the chance to gain vital experience in wild animal care. The second placement is at Mapiso and Mapani in South Africa, and here you have a unique chance to carry out research and acquire transferable skills in conservation and wildlife management and sustainability. The land that the reserve is currently situated on was originally farmed, and the owner is in the process of rewilding it. Here you have the opportunity to see that as time passes, biodiversity increases, and you will learn about the various factors that are needed to maintain a bush lodge and reserve, e.g., how do you raise funds, how do you decide if there are enough prey species to maintain predators, and how to carry out population surveys, etc. Now, the third placement is Kindred Spirit Elephant Foundation in Thailand. This was actually co-funded by Kerry McRae, a QUB Zoology graduate, and it opened its doors in May 2016 with the aim of bringing as many elephants as possible back to their natural habitat, whilst also educating both the general public and locals about elephant treatment, and also trying to combat illegal trade. The aim of this sanctuary is to allow elephants to live out their lives as naturally as possible with as little human influence as possible. The sanctuary also works very closely with the village community, where the sanctuary is set providing an income by creating homestays for the volunteers to stay in, renting land, creating jobs, and teaching English at the school. Successful conservation involves buy-in from the local community. Here you can experience life in a traditional homestay, observe elephant behaviour, and be part of the rehabilitation process. The pictures of the elephants were taken by one of our recent zoology graduates, Aoife Gobert, during her placement at Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary. Many of our ongoing projects involve predator species such as lion and cheetah. The pictures in the upper panel show a study carried out in collaboration with the BBC for the programme Animals with Cameras, presented by Gordon Buchanan. The cheetahs were fitted with head-mounted cameras, a bit like wearing a GoPro, which provided an insight into their hunting behaviour. Despite being the fastest land mammal, sometimes they were a little camera shy and needed encouragement to move, as you can see in the picture. In the second panel of pictures, the cheetah, called Flirty, has been sedated and has been fitted with a GPS and accelerometer. The accelerometer is a device that allows us to monitor the animal's behaviour instead of having to follow the animal continuously. Cheetahs are very vulnerable to kleptoparasitism, which means they lose their kill to other predators, particularly lions and hyenas. In the middle picture, you can see a black-backed jackal in the background harassing the cheetah and her cubs at the kill site. Multiple recent and ongoing studies are depicted on this slide. These studies are carried out in collaboration with researchers in the UK, Africa, South Africa, and America. Many zoology students have completed placements with marine turtle conservation groups, while others have carried out environmental enrichment studies and behavioural studies at both zoos and in the wild. The ability to track animals using remote sensing technologies now means that we no longer have to follow the animal, which is intrusive and may affect their natural behaviours. Instead, animals can be fitted with trackers, and this has been used for a range of marine birds, mammals, and fish, as well as terrestrial carnivores. Such methodologies are playing an important part in human-carnivore conflict understanding, informing us of potential solutions. Such detailed information on movement and territories may help identify future solutions. Other studies have reared dogs, such as the Anatolian shepherd dog with flocks of sheep or herds of goats, meaning that the dogs will then protect the sheep and goats from predators such as cheetahs. This approach has been successfully used by one of our collaborators, the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia. Animal tracking is also a very important role to play in animal conservation, particularly for vulnerable species such as the wild dog, etc. The areas of animal and human disease surveillance, epidemiology and welfare are becoming increasingly important. Increased human population, loss of habitat, and agricultural intensification all have knock-on effects. For example, an increase in emerging parasite diseases and drug resistance among parasite populations have been reported. We only have a small arsenal of drugs to treat parasite diseases, so it is important that we can also identify new drug targets. Newly emerging diseases such as squirrelpox in Northern Ireland threaten our local red squirrel population, while population decreases in hedgehogs go unexplained, as does the definitive cause of colony collapse in honeybees. Remote sensing technologies such as infrared thermography allow us to detect mastitis in dairy goats and temperature changes in cheetah, as you can see in this picture provided by Natasha McGowan, one of our researchers. To understand disease emergence, we must understand the factors driving its emergence. For example, wildlife reservoirs, e.g. deer and mice as tick hosts, and the presence of tick-borne diseases such as louping ill and neurological disease shown here. Tracking devices can also be used in the study of badgers. One very emotive issue is badger culling. By actually monitoring where the badgers go, we can identify ways of increasing biosecurity on farms. This video shows a badger with a collar fitted with a GPS and accelerometer, facilitating the identification of behaviour and movement, and allowing us to actually provide an informed information on where the badger actually goes, increasing biosecurity on farms. Now, one common misconception is that a zoology degree limits your job options and also means that you will only ever work with animals or in a zoo. This is certainly not the case. In fact, zoos have become very important in the role of conservation, also veterinary research, and the zookeepers, the majority who work there, are involved in these projects. They also have degrees. Now, if we actually look at the reality is that employers look at your final degree classification. So, for example, do you have a first or 2-1? And what is your relevant experience that makes you suitable for the job? Jobs that are advertised as must-needed job in the biological sciences or bioscience includes zoology, also includes microbiology, biochemistry, etc. Zoology graduates have entered a wide range of careers, and some of the most recent jobs acquired are listed on the slide. So, for example, animal welfare, marine and terrestrial conservation, environmental planning, joining Northern Ireland Environmental Agency. Many also choose to go into pharmaceutica, i.e. Randox, Norbrook, and others. Some may also choose to go into other areas of industry or into jobs in PricewaterhouseCoopers. Others have decided to undertake postgraduate degrees in veterinary and human medicine, while others have joined teaching, whether at a primary, secondary, or tertiary level, so tertiary, for example, in universities. Many enjoy jobs in hospital laboratories. Others have taken a completely different route and have trained as accountants or leading bankers. Others will go into the local agricultural food sectors, for example, AFBI, in terms of research, and also many choose to undertake postgraduate study. The key take-home message from this slide is the same jobs are open to zoology students as those open to biological sciences graduates. A zoology degree will also allow you to apply for postgraduate medicine and also veterinary degrees. It's a good time to be a zoologist for many reasons. Firstly, 75% of emerging diseases are zoonotic and include recent ones such as Ebola, a hemorrhagic virus, and of course COVID-19, the current pandemic that we're living through. The World Health Organization's One Health approach now examines disease outbreaks in terms of both animal, human, and environmental health. A big part of this is determining the role that animals play. So therefore, interdisciplinary teams investigating these new disease outbreaks include parasitologists, virologists, zoologists, as well as medics. Agricultural intensification, driven by an increasing human population and the need for cheap but high quality protein, intensifies animal rearing. So we're faced with a situation where we must address increased production, but it needs to be done without decreased animal welfare. Zoologists also play a very important role in climate change mitigation, particularly the protection of vulnerable animals and ecosystems. And this is something that we're seeing more and more in the media every day. You also can help address pollution impact. So for example, polychlorinated biphenyls, the impact they have on polar bears is well documented. They increase the number of hermaphrodites in the normal population. And they also have an impact on the health and fertility of marine animals, for example, cetaceans. There's the whole question over microplastics in our oceans. The long-term health effects on both animals and humans are as yet unknown. So a lot of research and a lot of potential input for zoologists. On this slide, I have listed some of the notable zoology graduates, and of course, all zoology graduates are notable. Professor Alan Stitt is the Macaulay Chair of Ophthalmology in the Royal Victoria Hospital. He also is the Dean of Impact and Innovation here at QUB. Jonathan Scott, an ex-Queen's University graduate, wildlife photographer, also presenter of the BBC Big Cat Diaries. And of course, we have Professor Bill Campbell, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine, also a zoologist. So in conclusion, really a degree in zoology equips you for a career in whatever you choose. Basically, the only thing that limits you is your imagination. So the world is your oyster. And hopefully, if you choose zoology, we look forward to welcoming you in the near future. Thank you for listening.